Thank you. First of all, I must thank you for the invite and appreciate the fact that you have given us an opportunity to tell Kenyans what it is that we are here to do. 60 days today, and we think that we are learning very fast, we are settling in very fast, and we are hopeful that tomorrow will be a better day, not only for IEBC, but for the Kenyan nation, in as far as the electoral comportment of this nation is concerned. I thank you.
We are talking of 60 days in office. There are by-elections coming up for November, slated 23 by-elections across the country for the National Assembly seats, 1 Senate seat, 16 MCA positions. How ready is IEBC in conducting what some say as the first litmus test?
Thank you very much. If you allow me, with your permission,
fair enough,
to take a minute or two to explain to Kenyans what is it that we have done as a commission that is new and settling in to make sure that we are more prepared to execute our tasks. And the first task that we executed was reconfiguring the way the IEBC commissioners will work as a departure from what was then. Now, the first thing that we did was to elect one of our own, the youngest member of the commission, Fahima Arafat Abdallah, as the vice chair. Now, this is symbolic and powerful because 70% of the population in this country are young people. And we felt that we are not just going to say that we are putting the 70% population of young people at the center of what you're doing, but we want to have one of them being at the highest level that it can get in terms of that management. In addition, we gave her the docket of procurement. We then decided to divide all of us, with the support of the chairperson, into thematic groups so that we have a more positioned and deliberate approach in the way we handle the issues. So the first segment that we devoted was electoral operations. Electoral operations was given to Commissioner Nderitu. If you remember, Commissioner Nderitu first worked in IEBC.
Fair enough.
Later on RPP and back to IEBC. Very knowledgeable mind. We then gave legal compliance as the thematic area to Commissioner Mary Karen Sorobit. We gave human resource to Commissioner Hassan Noor, very experienced, and we gave boundaries delimitation, ICT, innovation research to Professor Duol. I have the privilege to handle voter education, stakeholder management, partnership and voter, and communication. Why am I taking time to tell you this? Because the journey that you cover is as good as the preparations you put in place for that journey. Let's come to your question. How well prepared are we for the by-elections?
Fair enough.
We're as well as we can get. But we are on the journey, and we are hopeful that we'll execute the assignment as it ought to be executed.
And when we ask the question of how prepared IEBC is, not just for this election or the 2027, the Constitution envisages a fair and verifiable form of an election. Politicians have been at the center of this political landscape, isn't it? Some are accusing the commission, as new as 2 months in office, of being biased, being fronted by individuals. Is the commission, in which you are a member, affairs of politicians, some in office, others outside the office?
You know, it is a tricky question to respond directly, lest I'm seen to be attempting to tangle with our political leadership. But perceptions are created for various reasons. Where you have been, you have worked with people. Some of the people you have worked with may not necessarily have been in synchrony with your current employment. But that cannot be said to be affecting what it is you're going to do. We have lived in this country. We have worked with people. The fact that the people we have worked with are politicians does not as of itself render us incapable of delivering what it is that is our assignment here. And look, my brother, if as Kenyans we do not trust any Kenyan to handle this assignment, then we might as well agree as a nation that we appoint the United Nations, for example.
That will be quite ambitious, Commissioner, isn't it? I asked you that question because I'm sure you must have seen. Post the appointment, there were fainted lines drawn of which commissioner was fronted by who and who. You are saying irrespective of the relation the commissioners may have had in their previous occupation, that will not influence their duty.
And it ought not to. Because if that were the case, then you would require an angel just descended on earth who will have interacted with nobody in this country to come and run IEBC. The important thing is that once you're given this job, you must appreciate that as an independent commissioner. And let me explain why independence is very important for the 7 of us. Article 1 grants Article 1, Article 2, Article 3 of the Constitution, they all in synchrony grant sovereignty of this nation to the people. And these provisions go ahead to say that this sovereignty will be exercised either directly or indirectly. As it were, it is not possible that we can exercise this sovereignty directly. And so it is delegated to the national government, to the county government, and to the independent commissions. IEBC is one of the Chapter 15 independent commissions. Therefore, IEBC exercises what it does on behalf of the citizens of this country. So you cannot afford to be appointed as an IEBC commissioner and come here and start pursuing interests other than those which the people of Kenya will validly deem as being what it is they want you to do. It is not practical, it is suicidal, it is not nationalistic. But
it has happened, Commissioner, isn't it? Kenyans were treated to a spectacle in the last general election where 4 commissioners were on the verge of announcing their own results.
When I was in this country a few years ago, I was a media analyst.
Fair enough.
And I similarly had my views of what it is that was happening in IEBC. Fast forward, today I have the privilege and honor to sit here as a commissioner of IEBC. And the bulk of the perceptions that I had out there have changed. The biggest problem that we have is that IEBC staff are undergoing what we call a trauma experience. And they do not dare come out here and give the story of IEBC. But most of the things that IEBC has been accused of, and this is not to say they have not done anything wrong, but my assessment, and that is the humble assessment of those of us who have just come in as commissioners, is that there is so much good stuff that has been done by the IEBC staff, even during our absence, but they don't tell their story. What the chairperson, Edung Ethekon, has decided, and all of us, is that we'll come out here to tell the IEBC story. And you'll not just see me. We have agreed that you'll see all of us.
All the commissioners.
All the commissioners will come out here and give the story that is IEBC story, so that our story as a commission is not told by others. Because the tendency is that when your story is told by somebody else, they tell their story, not your story.
And for a voter, a Kenyan watching this program, and is listening to this discussion, what surety is IEBC giving that Kenyan that perhaps the I on IEBC will be an independent format?
I have answered that question before, and there was a retort, for lack of a better word, by my audience. Actually, one gentleman from the audience who said, I is just an alphabet. The fact that you are referred to as independent does not itself guarantee independence. That may be true. That just the sloganeering that you're independent is not sufficient. But let me tell you why we have no choice but to be independent. What has been said before is that elections have been stolen in this country. And I struggle today to understand how any politician will steal an election that has been presided over by IEBC for a simple reason. The minor Kai decision laid it bare that kura inaanza, yapigwa, yahesabiwa na kumalizikia kituoni mwa kura. If each of the contestants have their agents, if the media is present, And if Kenyans are vigilant, because the price of democracy is eternal vigilance, as Albert Einstein says, then there is no way somebody is going to steal a vote. Because the moment the voting is completed, the tallying is done, and the announcement is made, this particular form is scanned to the constituency, for the constituency ones, and for the presidential for collecting and final tally, doing the total. Those for the county elections are forwarded to the county, and those for the national tallying centers forwarded. There is no interface between. There is no way somebody can come in between. You know, what has been created, and I must admit I used to also think that way, is that the moment this particular result is transmitted electronically towards Bomas.
That is, I will say Kamago.
Correct. That somebody sits somewhere, there is something called a server, and the image are given is that it's like a box, a black box, and somebody comes and goes in, intercepts the forms, cooks something there, and out of that cooking, vifaranga vitatokezea, and many other things. Far from the truth. So, whether we want to be independent or not, we have no choice. Our mandate is to remain independent, and the systems are such that it is not possible to steal an election in this country.